10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, good morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Sam here, United People's TV. It's Tuesday. It's podcast day. We will be speaking about the podcast. We will be speaking about Ronaldo. No, I'm not speaking about what's happened with Ronaldo. I've buried all of that. After the reaction to after the video I did to Roy Keane's reaction, that's all in the past. I'm just looking forward. I'm looking ahead. And we've still got to resolve the Ronaldo situation, which is why I'm still talking about it. Today, Ronaldo is set for talks with Erik ten Hag. We'll have a conversation about what is expected to be said. And I suppose with the Sheriff game coming on Thursday, we're really going to be finding out whether or not Ronaldo's back in this team or not. Because you would imagine he's going to be back inside that squad to face Sheriff. If he is, I don't know. We'll have a conversation about that. But who's down there in the comments? Let's have a look. Josh, good morning to you. Charlie Hughes, can see you there. Jamie McDonald, good morning to you, my friend. Big fan of the jumper. Look at that. Why not? Hey, look, we're getting towards winter. I'll tell you that. It's going to be like 20 degrees tomorrow in the UK. Jeez. Paula, good morning to you. Bis Wabasu. I hope I got your name right there. Good morning to you. Who's there on Facebook? Mark Whelan, good morning to you, my friend. We've got Trisha Deeney from Donegal. Good morning to you. And Mukhtar Barry. Not that Barry, a different Barry. But look, morning, all of you. I'm looking forward to having a conversation today, an adult conversation about the Ronaldo, the next steps in the Ronaldo situation. We spoke about it yesterday from the Athletics perspective when they were saying, look, Manchester United, replacing Ronaldo is not even on the agenda for January, which I was kind of staggered by. I really, really was. But look, today is Tuesday, which first and foremost means the podcast. And the podcast is a bit of a special one this week. You'll know this photo from the weekend. That lad there, Sammy, in the Chelsea away end, jumped up on the netting and joined in the celebrations. Lisandro Martinez giving him a grab, and it was those photos that went a bit viral. And then Lisandro Martinez tweeted this after. He said, "I don't know who you are, but we're in this together, fighting until the end." And it was a cracking set of photos. And it was a cracking set of celebrations. And we spoke about that yesterday. And just helps you get a bit more connected to this team. Now, I reached out to Sammy. And he came on the podcast. So it's a conversation. It's a half an hour conversation with Sammy. Speaking about Lisandro Martinez. How good his hair smells. Apparently it smells. Not smells. Probably smells all right. How soft his hair is. It's a good conversation. And it's the sort of stuff I want to bring. I want to bring genuine content to the podcast, content that you wouldn't see elsewhere, because, you know, podcasts, especially when it's moved into video podcasts, is just that podcasts are spammed out and it's kind of the same thing you can get anywhere else. Whereas this podcast, you can only hear it on the podcast. It's done once a week. If you would, I've left the link I've just dropped a link in there as a comment on Facebook and on YouTube. Go and give it a listen. And if you would, please give it a 5-star review. It really does help the podcast gain a bit of traction because it's very, very difficult. It takes a long, long time and a lot of work to get a podcast up off the ground. Now, this is the 24th episode, so we're still getting there. But Cam, mate, you're spot on. I love that. Sammy's going to get a canvas of that. Absolutely going to get a canvas of that. Shove that on the wall. Why not? Josh, you're right down there. There are new emojis for members. Big up to Chris for sending them over. I apologize, Chris, for taking a week to put them on there, but they've been added in today. We've got Ten Hag in there. We've got Casemiro in there. We've got Eriksen in there. I'm going to add some more as well. But look, make sure you use them if you're members. I'm trying to give a little bit more back to the members. I'm just a little bit slow in doing it, but I promise I'm trying to do it. Zane, I think you're down. Yeah, man. Zane, you're down here being Santa straight away in the comments. My God, every day. It never won't blow me away. It really, really won't. Zane, you've given 5 gifted memberships. Who was lucky? Walking Stoned, very nice. VJ, nobody. David Amrai and John Adair. You are luckily enough the 5 who have been gifted memberships by Zane. Honestly, it's it just, oh geez, what am I doing here? Trying to get the chat back up. There we go. Right. That was a bad start. But good morning to all of you. And good morning, especially if your name is Lisandro Martinez. As I said, go and listen to the podcast. It's a cracking episode. It really, really is. I enjoyed it. But the main focus of this show is what's next. It's not about talking. I don't personally want to talk about what's happened with Ronaldo up until this point anymore. I don't want to talk about his reaction. I don't want to talk about him walking off. I don't really want to talk about him being dropped, X, Y, Z. That for me, that's all kind of buried. That's all been dealt with. The conversation now is what happens next. What's in front of us now? Ten Hag is expected to have conversations and talks with Cristiano Ronaldo today at Carrington. And the consequence of these talks is going to really be telling. Jonesy, I'm not sure what you mean there when you say any chance giving away your Lisandro Martinez picture. I'm not sure which one you mean. If you mean this one, this is not my picture. That's absolutely not my picture. So I'm not really sure what one you mean there. But yeah, I'm a bit tired. I'm tired, Robbie. I'm a little bit tired of speaking about everything that's happened with Ronaldo so far. But at the same time, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. And we have to talk about Ronaldo and what is going on until he either just comes back into the first team fold or he leaves the club. One of those two decisions. So he's going to be having that conversation with Erik ten Hag today. And we know exactly what Erik ten Hag wants from this conversation. This was from James Ducker. This was published a few days ago now. Ten Hag wants contrition from Ronaldo. And that means that he basically wants Ronaldo to sort of walk in a little bit sheep. Doesn't have to be physically sheepish, but walk in and say, you know what? Really sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I undermined you as manager. I disrespected you by doing that in public. And I took away a little bit of your power. I understand your decision to drop me. I accept it. I've been training. Can we move forward? If he does that, brilliant. Because Erik ten Hag wants Ronaldo to stay at Manchester United. That's what we're hearing in the public anyway. This is what Ten Hag said when he was asked about a million questions about Ronaldo. He said, when asked whether he thinks Ronaldo will stay or if he wants him to be for the rest of the season, he said both. He said, I don't want to miss him. I want him to be in the squad and I want him to get involved for every game because he has an impact. Erik ten Hag, now I saw some mad comments down here this morning and, Ronaldo disrespected, blah, blah, blah. He's been abused by Ten Hag. Man, it couldn't be further from the truth. I see a manager managing. That's what I've seen with Ten Hag throughout this entire time. And I see a Manchester United team fighting more for their manager and fighting more for the collective of the team as I ever have in the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years. It was never like that under Solskjaer. I told you about, there was a point where I really felt like a likability towards this, not this United team, but the team under Solskjaer. I think it was back in 1920. But they never had that. They were great. That was at the point where we were winning so many points from losing positions, coming from behind, very crap at starting games, but brilliant at finishing games. And we did that for a long time. We went a whole season. Was it a whole season? We went undefeated away from home. And it was good. But this, what we're seeing now from Ten Hag and from this team, it feels different. It feels bigger. It feels better. And it feels like it feels like the start. And that's a big thing. It feels like, as I said, we've had a conversation about how far along the process we think Ten Hag's team is. And if we're being generous, it's like 35, 40%. Probably around 30%. I think we've taken a little leap this week after the last 10 days and the performances against Spurs and Chelsea. But we are a better footballing team at this moment in time without Cristiano Ronaldo in it. And he's not accepted that. That is abundantly obvious. Because as I said before, the idea that the whole of Old Trafford and the whole team is celebrating such a wonderful performance against Spurs, and inside Ronaldo is seething. He's thinking differently to everybody else. Max, I think you sent a super chat, buddy, but you haven't sent a message with it. So just send a normal comment and I'll try and read it out if I can catch it. Let me see what you're saying about Ronaldo down in the comments. Well, T, I've spoken about this before, and I think there is definitely a huge element of that. It's strange. It really is strange, but it's part of a modern support that I can't get my head around. I can't understand. I just don't understand it. And you're saying here to play devil's advocate, was it made clear to Ronaldo what his role would be at the start of the season? Perhaps that would have quelled the attitude. Probably not. And I know when you're playing FIFA, you get the point where you have to tell a player whether they're going to be an integral part of your squad, X, Y, Z. Do you really think that? I'm not saying that to undermine you or patronize you. I'm saying that genuinely. Do you think that players are actually told on that sort of level? I don't think they are. I think they kind of earned it. I don't think that I don't think when we went into that preseason that Erik Ten Hag pulled Diogo Dalot to the side and said, you know what, mate, you are going to start every single game for me at right back. I don't think he did. But because of Diogo Dalot's work rate and effort, he's made himself indispensable. I think players force themselves into that position rather than being told by their manager what they're going to be. And when Erik Ten Hag, let's make no mistake about it, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 24 goals last season. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest, if not the greatest goal scorer of all time. I think Erik Ten Hag absolutely expected to be starting him. But he also knew in the back of his mind, he goes, well, I'm not sure whether he can physically live up to the demands of my style of football. And it's been proven correct. Anthony, you're down here. Not that Anthony, different Anthony. You're saying, look, his role is simple. He's a player of United. That means he needs to do whatever the manager wants or needs and not bitch about it. That's why he's paid what he's paid. See, that's not something that clearly that Ronaldo believes. It's obvious. That has become abundantly obvious at this point. But I think this week will be extremely telling, won't it? We play Sheriff on Thursday. And you would imagine if these conversations go well today between Ten Hag and Ronaldo, that Ronaldo should probably be in that squad and should be in that starting 11 to face Sheriff at home at Old Trafford. Go there, bag a couple against Sheriff, bury the bad news, return to your goal scoring ways. Let's draw a line under it and let's move forward. That's the best case scenario for Ronaldo at this moment in time. It depends whether or not he's going to be willing to accept the fact that I don't think Ronaldo starts a Premier League game for us until Rashford and Martial are both injured. If one of them are fit, they're going to be starting ahead of Ronaldo up front. And Ronaldo has to accept that position. But I'm not sure. And that's the thing, man. That's really a thing. I'm not sure he's going through that series of emotions from a purely footballing perspective of realizing, shit, man, I'm 37. Damn, my body's catching up with me, and sort of not wanting to believe it. And that's playing a part. That's playing a part of it. And Olivia, look, right, you are completely spot on here. And I think in the goodness of time, this will come out, because when that story came out last year of Ronaldo losing one of his twins, it's heartbreaking beyond belief. I couldn't imagine what that would do to a parent. And Ronaldo was back playing football within 10 days? And every United fan, everybody was like, what is he? How is he back already? And that's because it's Ronaldo, and that's what Ronaldo does, and that's what Ronaldo is. But it feels like he almost didn't give himself and his family, or himself probably, enough time to grieve about what happened. Because you're in the spotlight as one of the biggest brands in world football. The spotlight is fierce. And I imagine that's definitely playing a toll on what's happened and what's happening with Ronaldo. But we won't truly understand that. And the thing, I've been speaking to quite a lot of people about this. I say, because Ronaldo is the brand that he is, maybe he doesn't feel that he can open up about that and expose that vulnerability at this particular moment in time. And that's what makes it a little bit difficult for fans to truly empathize with the situation. Because if like Ronaldo was supposed to come out with that video exposing the truth and the lies in the media, and that never came out. If Ronaldo was to come out and give an interview and sort of explain the impact of losing his child and what that did to him, and maybe what that still is doing to him, I'm not saying it would flip the situation on its head, but it would help people to understand. And fans can only as fans, we can deal with what we see in front of our eyes. We can see Ronaldo on the bench. We can see Ronaldo being moody. We can see Ronaldo not doing it on the pitch, and we can see Ronaldo walking down the tunnel. We can only deal with what we see as fans. And that's a very, very fair point there, that everybody's got their own different therapy places. I love the gym. I'm in the gym like 3-4 times a week, that hour away from everything, just music in, not speaking to anyone. It's a good release. It's an amazing release. If anybody doesn't do exercise, I actively encourage you to do exercise. The endorphins released from it are amazing. But it's, look, with the Ronaldo situation, my God, some dude outside with a weed whacker. I'm like, man, come on. I'm live on United People's TV here. Selfish dude. Look, Daniel, I'm not saying that he has to come out with anything. I'm saying that's part of why it's difficult for fans to truly understand the situation, because fans can only, but people can, we can only deal with what we see and what we hear. You can't, mate. It's a really, trust me, I'm not fucking telling anybody how to grieve, because there isn't. It's like parenting. There is no like one size fits all. Everybody's got their own methods to it. But I imagine that's under the surface. That's been happening the entire time, which I've definitely thought the entire way through. But it doesn't condone these sorts of actions. Laylo, you're saying you cannot bring him on for 3 minutes. He hasn't said I'm retiring. Disrespectful. It reminds me when Pep did it to Ribery and Eto'o. Awful behavior. And this is like, I cannot disagree with that comment anymore. Erik ten Hag can do whatever the fuck he wants with his players in a football situation. If he wants to take De Gea off after 17 seconds in a game, then he can do that. If he wants to bring Ronaldo on in the 97th minute, then he can do that. He is a manager. Obviously, if you're going to go crazy and do those ones like 17 seconds, if you're going to go to the extremes, then you're going to cause fractions. But it was not disrespectful what he did with what he has been doing with Ronaldo and using him, because look at how we're playing. Spurs was, if we were playing absolutely abysmal against Spurs and then he brings Ronaldo on in the 89th minute, then cool. You might be able to say, oh, that's a bit disrespectful. But you can't say it. We were dominating against Spurs. Honestly, one of the most dominating performances we've seen from United in a long old time. Really. So to try and say that was disrespectful, odd. Really, really odd. That's the way I would describe it. But yeah, to wrap up that Ronaldo conversation, we're going to move on now to a conversation about Dalot, about Jeremy Frimpong, about Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right backs. We're going to speak about this. There's plenty more still to talk about. But yeah, ultimately, this is a big thing. Ronaldo was the one who said no to coming on. He took a front to it, and Erik ten Hag reacted. We've now got 2 days until the Sheriff game, and we should know what's going on with Ronaldo and United, and whether or not he's going to have a short-term future. I'm going to read a couple more of your comments out before I move on. Ronaldo needs to learn to lower his ego. Football's a team game. We've spoken in quite a bit of depth about Ronaldo's ego before. It's that ego that has driven him to be the elite player that he is. You have to have an ego to exist in top-level sports. You absolutely do. Couldn't disagree more. You play for the love of the shirt, even if it's 60 seconds, and Ronaldo comes on and scores a winner. It's odd. It's really odd to try and say that Ronaldo being brought on for the last 3 minutes is disrespectful. It's not. It's so utterly wrong to say that. Yes, there are some unwritten rules. You want to have respect and you respect others. This is 3 minutes. Wouldn't be good for anyone. But so what? So what you're saying, this is exactly the problem here. So 3 minutes would be good for anybody, but not Ronaldo. Like Ronaldo's above the law. Like Ronaldo deserves a different set of rules. And that's where you're wrong. There is one set of rules that applies to everybody. Whoever it was that was the player that was late for a meeting during preseason, he got binned off. You're not playing. And whether that was Garnacho or not, that's hearsay. If you're the captain of Manchester United and you're playing abysmal, doesn't matter you're captain of United, you're binned off. Away you go. Doesn't matter if you Luke Shaw, binned off. McTominay, after City, binned off. Every single player, Erik Ten Hag has managed the same. Malacia came in, brilliant form, lost his form, taken off at half-time twice. Shaw came back in. He has no favourites. He only has one ambition. That's to drive Manchester United forward. And the 11 players who's starting, that's going to chop and change across the course of the season. Ten Hag's been very universal in his management. So the idea that there should be one rule for Ronaldo and one rule for everything else, that idea can just get in the bin. Absolutely get in the bin. There's a super chat there from Nick. How you doing, buddy? Ronaldo's probably realised by now he has tarnished his own legacy big time. He will always be a legend to me, but man, I wish he hadn't done it. Mate, it's I imagine he has tarnished his legacy for some people. I'm going to think about it after it's all done and good, rather than thinking about it during the time. Zolani here. Sam, leave us Ronaldo alone because you're using emotions. Just shut up once and talk about Delo. Well, cheers, dude, for being that rude. I can go down there and I can block you. Anybody wants to come in here and tell me to shut up because I'm having a conversation? Well, I'll block you then. Don't be rude, man. I'm all aboard anybody who disagrees in it. You want to come be rude, I'll be rude back to you and I'll block you. Simple as that. Gungshi's down there trying to add some love into the comments, as he always does. Man, Gungshi, love you, dude. Malps, you're lucky enough to get one. Stephen Walsh, you got one. Linton Moodley, Matt Gruber, and Dylan. Ooh, I'm just going to call you Dylan because I can't pronounce your second name. But look, let's move on here. And let's talk about Diogo Dalot. Let's talk about Wan-Bissaka and Jeremy Frimpong. We'll talk about Michael Carrick becoming becoming Borough manager. And we can talk about Unai Emery becoming Villa manager. And that's really annoying timing. Really annoying timing. But look, speaking of players who earn their place in the team, Diogo Dalot, I mentioned it earlier in the show. Diogo Dalot, going into this preseason, Diogo Dalot was a player that every United fan doubted. Every United fan doubted. It was like, I mean, he's good at points, but defensively, everybody knew that Diogo Dalot was a bit of a weakness. What's happened since? Fuck. He started it. I think he started every game. He really is one of the indispensables in this team now. Chelsea performance was fantastic as well. Diogo Dalot has been absolutely fantastic. But what happens if he gets injured? And it's been a concern of mine. I'm sure it's a concern of yours. If we're looking at this team, we're looking overall, the whole concept of good football, the whole concept of a good squad is having two players in every single position. If we're looking, in my opinion, one of the biggest weaknesses is that right back position. If Diogo Dalot drops out, who on earth plays right back? Because it might have been Victor Lindelof, but Varane's now out. Tricky situation. Demon, you're saying, look, what he says about Ronaldo is completely right. I don't know how anyone else can disagree. It's all come through, and that's been the case now. But apparently, some people still do disagree. But look, Diogo Dalot absolutely has a place in this United squad. Wan-Bissaka does not. Linton, you're down there saying, Gungshi, thank you. You're a star. Stan needs to bring. I do need to bring him on a stream. Actually, we should have a little Gungshi members only show, seeing as he's basically the godfather of most of them. But look. That's a good point, Dylan. We might see that. Yeah, he has mentioned about Malacia playing a right back, but it's still a weakness. There's no doubt. There's no doubt it's a weakness. And Wan-Bissaka was a player who we all had our doubts whether or not he would fit inside a Ten Hag system. And I think we can now unequivocally just say Wan-Bissaka's not really going to have a future at this club. Fabrizio Romano is saying that Manchester United are trying to find a solution for Wan-Bissaka in January. And the reason that we haven't found a solution already is because he's on big wages. And we pay big money for him. So it's like United will realise a loss if we sell him for really dead cheap. We need to get him out on loan. In an ideal situation, we loan him probably out to Crystal Palace. They end up buying him back for somewhere you would imagine in the region of 10 to 15 million. We're going to have to swallow a hell of a loss on Wan-Bissaka. In the same way that when Maguire leaves, we're going to have to swallow a hell of a loss on Harry Maguire. It's just the way it goes. A couple of you down there in the comments, I can see you talking about Ethan Laird, obviously with QPR, having a good season on loan. I need to speak to James Orco, actually, my mate, see how Laird's been playing. He might be coming back, sure, but I don't think it would suit. This is the thing, and I thought it was about Donny van der Beek a couple of times as well. Laird coming back to Manchester United would suit Manchester United, but it wouldn't suit Ethan Laird and his career. Why would I come back and sit there and watch Diogo Dalot play every single week and wait for him to get injured when I could be starting every single week in the Championship in a promotion-pushing side in QPR? And Michael Beale's rejected Wolves, and he's going to be staying there. So QPR looking good this year. I don't particularly think that Ethan Laird would want to do that. And I don't particularly think he kind of should do that. Which makes it tricky. And then that leads us on to the next conversation, because if we're talking about, right, okay, so Wan-Bissaka, if he's going to get moved on, and if Ethan Laird stays at QPR, which I imagine he probably will, and you're mentioning Brandon Williams down there, he could do a job at right back, but he's been injured for a long time. I imagine he is seen as a fullback. He can play left and right back, can't he? It leads us on to the conversation here about Jeremy Frimpong. Now, I'm going to do a full story on Jeremy Frimpong today. That's my video that's going out at lunchtime. Frimpong is a young, up-and-coming right back who's absolutely nailing it right now. I think he plays for, is it Leverkusen? I think it is. Let me just check. Should probably have checked that before he comes on. Jeremy Frimpong. Yeah, plays for Leverkusen, and he's just breaking through into the Dutch national team. Yes, it's another Dutch player. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And I've told you that that can't be just like the new policy of Manchester United, just to go after everybody who's Dutch or Ajax, or has previously played for Ten Hag. And that's the only three players that we're looking at. But if you look at the signing of Tyrell Malacia and how impressive that was, you can probably add Jeremy Frimpong into a category like that. I don't think we get him for 12 million, that's for sure. But I'm going to do a full story on it, because the story's kind of been developing over the last few days. I've waited for it to develop a little bit more. Fabrizio Romano's tweeting about it now. So yeah, I'm going to talk about Jeremy Frimpong, because he is an up-and-coming, he's the sort of right back that you could see joining this United team and go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I can understand that. I can absolutely understand that. So I'm going to cover that, because as I said, Diogo Dalot has been brilliant, but it's a weakness that Manchester United have. Would signing someone like Jeremy Frimpong, who's coming up, who's coming through, is similar mold to Malacia, I would say. I think that would be good for Manchester United and good for Erik ten Hag. And these sorts of smart signings are the signings that we have to do more of. The one big thing that was completely unsustainable from the summer was how much we were spending on players. We can't spend 70 mil on Casemiro, 83 mil on Anthony, 55 mil on Martinez. It's not sustainable. I think this summer was a one-off. We need to be signing more players in the market of 20 to 40 million. 3 to 4 of them. Really smart, astute signings, signed because of a profile, signed because they're upcoming rather than established. They're the signings we have to make more of, which is exactly why this Jeremy Frimpong is a player who fits into that profile. And while I'll happily do a video looking at the full story of the links to him. Jamie McDonald, good comment down there saying, look, spend smart and strengthen wisely. It's what we've got to do more of, man. It's what we have to do more of. And that's why I understand the fact that Manchester United, we've already sent scouts to watch Jeremy Frimpong a few times. He's breaking through into the Dutch national team. And let's see what goes on next. Yeah, CJ, look, I think there was a lot of good that we did in the transfer window in the summer. There was bad as well. The De Jong saga and how much we were paying for people. We were just overpaying. It was poor. There was a lot to love about the players that we actually did sign. But yeah, not a lot to love about the actual process and how fluid we were in the transfer market. 55 mil for Martinez feels like a bargain now. Man, I love Lisandro Martinez. And I don't think I can understate that enough. This dude, he's the symbol of he's the symbol of everything new going forward. Absolutely, he is the man. I love him. I can't wait to bring out the merchandise. I swear to God. The Butcher of Manchester tee that I've made I love it. It's easily my favorite of all the five that I've made. Do we have new scouts already? Last I heard, Jim Lauder and Marcel Bout were sacked. Nick, I'm still waiting for that. And I said to everybody at the end of the season, I said, across the course at the end of the summer, across the course of this season, we have to hear about the new structure that's happening behind the scenes. At this moment in time, we haven't heard anything public about new scouts being appointed, but maybe something's gone on behind the scenes. I don't know. But at this moment in time, I haven't heard anything about the fact that we've signed new scouts. So either we're still using the old ones, or I don't know, something else is going on. Erik Ten Hag might have brought in some people that he used at Ajax before. I don't know. We're all making assumptions there because we don't quite know. But Stephen, you're saying down there, you'd rather we make more signings like Madison. It's what we have to do. It's the reason why City, so it is part of the reason why City have been able to do what City do. Not just, I mean, the City spend big anyway, but City have the ability to, this summer they sold Jesus for what? 30, 40? I don't know, no idea how much they sold him for. They made like 150 mil in profit overall from player sales. And United have to be better at that. And that's, you can't do that if you're signing players who are 27 to 28 and they won't have resale value. We are coming out of that Woodward era. He must have watched that Luis Figo documentary, watched Florentino, obviously didn't because it was way earlier than that. He tried to do a Galactico era and fucking failed miserably. Like spectacularly wrong. He couldn't have got it any more wrong. He had absolutely no grasp of what he was doing. He had no idea. He just thought that spending big was all you had to do and didn't for 1 second think about the culture of those players coming in and the right manager who's going to be able to handle all of those egos. Manchester United was not the environment for that. Mario, how you doing, buddy? Saying Martinez has easily become my favorite player. Raw passion, fighting spirit. Where's the apology? Mario, I cannot wait. I'm holding back on it because I want to time it perfectly. I'm going to do a video calling out Jamie Carragher at some point, and I cannot wait because he has made Jamie Carragher look like a fool, look like an absolute fool. Sam, would you rather Frimpong or versatile Timber with Laird? I mean, Urian Timber. I mean, I don't think we'll be going back in for him now. 50, 60, 70 million. What are you all saying down here in the comments? Any news on Van der Sar, says Sander? Well, I covered that yesterday. He said he's not joining Manchester United at this moment in time. But the two clubs he's going to be involved in from a director point of view in his career are Ajax and Manchester United. It really is a case of when, in my opinion anyway, I think it's a case of when and not if Van der Sar is on Manchester United's board. We just don't know when that trigger will be pulled. Can't. I mean, to be fair, Ian, you're down there spitting facts, aren't you? Wait, that's getting in the video as well. You're damn straight. But yeah, I did this video I did yesterday. I did it with a big smile on my face. Big smile on my face. Sort of ran through the emotions of that game, ran through the celebrations, what that meant, the sort of connection that we're getting as United fans. Actually, I saw this on Twitter yesterday. Let me pull this one up. This made me laugh. I was on Man United's website reading the other day, and was it the other day? As in yesterday, and I read this. Let me pull this bad boy up. There you go. The inside story of our viral Casemiro video. They're ready to go to war for Erik Ten Hag and the badge. That comment on Twitter perfectly sums up our viral phone footage. I see you, Man United. Man United down there looking at my Twitter accounts. Yeah. I see you, United. I see you. Absolutely see you. Man, I love that. I'm so jealous for Sammy that he's got that photo. That is a photo for life. That really, really is. As I said, today is podcast day. We had Sammy. We had that man there. We had him on the podcast last night. Me, Bao, and Alex just had a nice conversation with him. I think it's genuine content. All it is just 4 United fans talking about United. No agenda. I hope you enjoy it. It seems that people are enjoying it so far. What else are you saying down here in the comments? Right, sorry. Let's move on. Julie, I'm not going to the game on Thursday. What was that comment? No, not that. How funny would it be to time out United in the chat? That would be quite funny. But look, there's a couple more points that I want to speak about. Oh, look at this. This is why you need to follow the Instagram account. Look at that bad boy. It's like a piece of Renaissance art from the editor. Editor who works hard on the Instagram account. Please, if you would, go down there and follow the Instagram account. I've been trying for a long, long time to build up the audience. It's very, very difficult to build up audiences on Instagram. But with stuff like that, that deserves a like, doesn't it? Look at it. Beautiful. Let's zoom in. It literally is like a piece of Renaissance art. Sterling, how you doing there? Where's Jesus? Oh, there he is. There's Son as well. Man, it's a cracker. That is an absolute cracker. Perler of an edit, that is. Down there. My God, that dude is still fucking whacking weeds. How many weeds you got to whack, man? There's other windows you can do it in front of. Shit. Sorry. Now I'm swearing. It's really annoying me. Ali, to listen to the podcast is quite easy, my friend. You can listen to it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Google. Any platform that you listen to your podcast, you can listen to it on there. William, I'm not sure. I might have done. Honestly, there's so many people that fire in messages on Instagram. I do try and read and answer as many as I can, but there's too many. There's literally too many for me to answer. A couple of things that happened yesterday that I think we should have a little conversation about. I want to say congratulations to Michael Carrick. He's been appointed the manager of Middlesbrough, his first permanent position as head coach. And I wish him the world of luck. Michael Carrick in those 3 games, the interim period after Ollie went, was it? I think it was Villarreal away, then Chelsea away, then Arsenal at home. I think that was the 3. And I wish him the absolute best of luck. I hope he nails it. If you look at what Kieran McKenna has done since he left Manchester United, he was part of Solskjaer's coaching staff and everybody slagged him and slated him and said he was terrible. And Ipswich fans love him now. I think they're second in League One. He's doing very well. I hope that Carrick can go and do the exact same thing. And United fans will all be following, and I wish him the best of luck. Conversely, this is bad timing, isn't it? Unai Emery, I think, is an absolutely fantastic appointment from Aston Villa. It really is. Sacking Gerrard, right decision. Unai Emery is going to come in. A man who's won 3 Europa Leagues within the Champions League semi-final last year with Villarreal. Dude's a good manager. He is. And his first 2 games are going to be against Manchester United, which that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? As Bruce Almighty would say. Reference. It's going to make the Villa game far more difficult than it would have been if Unai Emery wasn't there. Let's just hope that he doesn't get the new manager bounce. Oh, he's turned off the weed whacker. Absolutely. But look, I imagine that'll be a far more difficult game there. Last couple of minutes to the show today, I'm going to answer all your questions. Is it 4 Europa Leagues? My God, that guy's a Europa League don. Absolute don. You can ask me anything you want in the comments below. Last couple of minutes of the show, I'll answer them. And last couple of minutes, now that I remember, sometimes I remember to do it. I don't always. I'm going to switch the chat on YouTube to members only. So members, if you want to fire in comments, if you're on Facebook, you get the privilege of still firing in comments because on Facebook, I can't switch it to members only. Facebook, it doesn't give me the option. It's not as intuitive. What am I having for lunch? Jonathan, my lunch is, I call it predictably delicious. I have a little bit of rice, a little bit of air fryer chicken. I have some salad. Well, I made some homemade tabbouleh. I put some hummus in there, a little bit of hot sauce, some fresh chilies. C'est magnifique. I have it most days because it's just ridiculously tasty. Why wouldn't you? Weed whacker plus Wi-Fi. Luckily, no one's ringing the bell yet. The bell rang earlier. John, yes, the news on the merchandise is there. We're very, very close. I'm looking to launch at some point in early November. I've been working on the Christmas designs for the Christmas sweaters. They'll be cool. They'll be a nice little gift. We've got 5 designs for the t-shirts. I've also got a United People's TV sort of crest that I'm working on as well. And this is just to start and to begin with. But I'm looking at the start of November. That's the aim, to get it done for the start of November. It's been time consuming because I don't want to release like a half-assed product. I think with so much football merchandise, it's just come up with a semi-naff design, slap it on a t-shirt. I want to do it a little bit more than that. So there's a little bit of thought process behind the designs. And it's also got a really nice touch with a hem label that's got the United People's TV badge and a little message on the underneath of it, which I think will elevate the t-shirt. Quite a few of you down there. Nizam, it should be worldwide. It should be worldwide. Mate, Gungshi, you're down here. My God. Honestly, I'm going to have to rename United People's TV. I don't think it's United People's TV anymore. I think it's just Gungshi's Playground. Warren Davids as well. Man, Warren, how you doing, buddy? Man, both of you just making me look bad every single day. You got to stop it. But don't stop it. David Bradbury, who's lucky enough to get him from Warren. The Weed Whacker's back. Maybe he just ran out of battery. David Bradbury, William Ford, Christian Adnakan, Shamel Moodley, Ads, Ashish Bomwick, Jerin Jalson, Roland Ndefor, Justice, you've got one. Olania, you've got one as well. And Gungshi, who did you give 5 to? Oh, I can't find your name down there. Where is it? The 5 that were lucky enough to get one from Gungshi. Yopi, you've got one. Demon Time. Pat, you've got one. James Matthews and Sammy C. Big up the name Sammy. Absolutely. Legends. And Joe, you've joined as well. Yes. Ian, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right today. What else are you saying down here in the comments? I'm a massive enamel pin collector. Any chance of some pins being made? I know what you mean. Maybe in the future, but not at this particular moment in time. The Butcher hoodie is going to be coming. Don't worry. We should be shipping everywhere. Garnacho in for Sancho. I mean, if Ten Hag felt Garnacho was mature enough and ready enough to start, he would have started by now. Christian, I don't know. Nobody can see what's going on the training ground, but Rashford needs a little bit of help, man. He does need a little bit of help. Will you do shorts too for my holiday in Dominican? Not doing shorts at the moment, just tees. So just top wear, I suppose. Tees, hoodies, and sweatshirts to start it. Mo Salah saying, you brighten up my day. Hey, cheers, dude. Thank you very much. What else are you saying down here? Last couple of messages. Do you think we need Frankie de Jong? Yeah, absolutely, unequivocally, we need Frankie de Jong. It's not a question. It really isn't. In the same way that Manchester United will struggle when Diogo Dalot goes out of the team, I think we struggle to create when Christian Eriksen goes out of the team. We can put in battling performances like we did against Spurs, and that was dominant. But yeah, we need Frankie de Jong. We absolutely still need Frankie de Jong. Do I think it'll be right for Ronaldo to start on Thursday? If Ronaldo and Ten Hag talk, they talk it through. Ronaldo apologizes. We draw a line under it. And Ronaldo moves forward with a different mentality, then yes, I do. Question, Sam. In the scenario that the Glazers don't sell for the next 5 years, what's your idea of the best case situation we can be in? I mean, I'm not sure. Is there a... There isn't really a best case scenario with the Glazers involved. It's constantly going to be a straitjacket on us. However good we are, we could have been better if the Glazers weren't there. And it's not just about investing in the club. It's about the trickle-down effect. In the same way that the culture inside the dressing room was poisonous, and that's the player powers just existed, and Ten Hag's been trying to do that. It comes... How the dressing room is a trickle-down effect from the manager. How the club is as a whole is a trickle-down effect from the owners, and that's why it needs to change. Warren, I'm glad I put that out, but I'm definitely glad I didn't put that out on Twitter. It's not my style to do stuff like that. Ian, yes. Short answer, yes, we do. I think we do anyway. We will come short. We will come unstuck at some point. I think we already have. We dropped points against Newcastle because of it. We should have had runaway wins against Omani at home and away and Everton. Spurs, every game so far, we are playing well, but we still need that striker. My favorite cuisine, I ask people this, is like, if you're going to choose one cuisine that you're going to have for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think I'd go Mediterranean, like Greek, like fresh salads, grilled meats, fresh fruits, olive oil. No, I think it's considered actually the healthiest in the world, and fresh fish as well. Big up fresh fish. My gut would tell me Bellingham, but that would be such a hard decision to make. Really, really is. But my gut would tell me Bellingham. Ian, you're going for Italian. William, you're going for Chinese. Nah, I love the Mediterranean and Turkish as well. Absolutely love both of them. But look, I'm going to wrap it up today. We're going to get stuck into a full conversation about food now. the weed whacker. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to choke slam him through the bush. I'm not. But come on, man. United People's TV, we're live. Right, today's video, as I said, I'm going to be doing a full story on this man, Jeremy Frimpong. Lots of rumours linking into Manchester United. Who is he? What's his career been like? What's his stats like? I'll cover it all and all the rumours and where they've come from and whether they're reliable. So make sure you subscribe to United People's TV. That's going out at lunchtime today. Italian is not Mediterranean. Italian is Italian. I mean, I know Italian is Mediterranean, but my idea of Mediterranean, the idea is more Greek. Italian is pasta and pizza. No offense to any Italians. But look, I'll wrap it up for today. I'll be here tomorrow at 9:30. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you check out the videos going out at lunch. And Gunshi, Warren, Zane, all of you, they got a community, man.